Okay, I'm gonna do another video. I know it's been a while since I did any, but this is the broadhead that I was shooting previously. I've shot him since around 2005-ish, maybe a little sooner than that. Can't remember exactly when they came out, but love this broadhead. Shuttle T-lock, probably, arguably, one of the best inexpensive broadheads on the market. They don't go for a whole lot. I think you can pick them up for 30 bucks or so for 3 of them. They're pretty inexpensive and they are extremely lethal. So got this one set up. I mean, spins good. Screw them on. They take a little bit of tuning to get spun, but as so many have been doing, I'm going to try the mechanical thing. Came from Oregon originally, so fixed blades were a thing for years and years and years. They just made mechanicals legal there now. So kind of just playing around, seeing if I can't make something happen with these. I've never been a giant fan of them. I think that the mechanicals over the course of the life have came a long ways, and these ones are pretty fail-safe. They seem to be pretty rugged looking little heads. They're the G5 dead meats, and in 100 grain. They are eerily accurate, very impressive, and they spin. I mean, I screwed that one on there, didn't do any tuning, nothing, and it is as perfect as it gets. Very, very impressive. I actually couldn't believe that, because these normally take about 5 to 8 minutes a head, because you got to sit there and screw them around until you get them just right, and then they spin true. However, again, like I said, we're going to try these ones out. I shot the BMP that they come with. Hold on a second, let me go grab it. So these are the BMPs here. Got a couple of them, bought a couple packs of these. I actually shot them earlier, shot these BMPs, which are designed to fly pretty much exactly like these broadheads. Very impressive. I could not believe it. They shot identical to my field points. I mean, identical. There was zero tuning, zero nothing. Screwed one on, shot it. I have not shot the heads yet. However, what I did notice was I couldn't figure out which arrow had this on it whenever I was shooting it at 70 yards. They were in a group about that big around. I wish I would have took some video for you guys on that one, but I'm just doing a little bit of testing. However, what I'm really wondering is, I've always had really, really great blood loss with these and finding animals. I've never had one lost with them. Everything I've ever shot with them has always fell dead. And I don't think I've ever had one run more than 60 yards with a good place shot. These are supposed to be 1.5 inch cut. We're going to test that out today and see how big the cut actually is on it, because I find it hard to believe that 1.5 inches. I also wonder how well these are going to open. So all they do is they clip into these little clips back here, and then they slide down. So when they come out, they just pop right out of there as soon as they go, and it opens up wide, and then you got 3 of those nasty buggers hanging out, and then they just clip right back in. Pretty simple. They pop out of there pretty easy, clip in pretty easy. You can buy more of these little blue collars. They're pretty easy to rebuild as well. Like I said, pretty impressive broadhead. I think that if I was going to say anything about a mechanical, I would say this is probably the toughest design I've seen. I don't think it's going to take as much to open the broadhead up, and that was one big thing with me, is worrying about them failing. The other thing about this one is, I can see the blades hang out, so even if it did fail a little bit, you're still going to have a pretty good cut, and they're razor sharp. I mean, I've already tried to cut myself about 10 times just screwing one of these in. They're very sharp, awesome broadheads, and I just couldn't believe, I mean, to pull them out of there and spin like that, and it doesn't matter. I've thrown them on every arrow, went through them, and I haven't found one that didn't spin perfect. So kudos to you, G5, on that. We're going to go out there and give these a test and shoot them through a jug and see how fast they can empty it. I'm sure everybody's seen that test multiple times on here. However, this is for me, and I'm just curious to see what kind of damage they're doing and how much blood they're going, or how much blood they'll drop over the other ones, or how fast they'll empty a jug. So we're gonna get out there and go get it set up, and I'll try to figure out how to get a timer on there for you, or at least tell you how long it took. Okay, so I'm out here setting these jugs up. I'm gonna set one of these bad boys up over here, and we're gonna just do a little test and see how fast these things can empty out one of these jugs. They get up here. So there's a couple hokey tires set up with a board. I'm gonna do this the old redneck way here, just trying to get something done in some sort of quicker fashion, just to get a test and idea, see how well these things shoot. Go back over here and get set up. I'm just going to shoot from 20 yards and call her good here and just see what happens. And we'll go from there. Should be fun. Okay, so got this thing set up, and we'll go get ourselves ready for this video and get you flipped around here to where you can see the jug, and we'll watch how fast this one empties. I'm going to shoot the trophy taker first, the shuttle T-lock, sorry, and we'll see how it performs, see how fast it goes through it. So there's your jug. Let's see, there we go. Okay, and we'll get back here and shoot it, and we'll get a time on it and see how fast it goes. So it looks like I hit it just about exactly where I wanted to. Get up here and go and check it out. So, I mean, that's a pretty big poke right there. Went right through, shot just about perfect. Again, like I said, that broadhead was 10. I mean, it is spilling some water pretty good here. I do have the lid cracked on this, as you can see, and I will do the same thing with the next one. That broadhead performs exactly like I thought it was going to. Pretty much, we're just going to wait till it gets right to the top of that line to try to do a control and make sure that we get the same time on these things. But that was pretty much exactly what I thought it was going to do. They're pretty gnarly. So we'll let that one empty out to about where that blue line is, right there. So we'll go back here and we'll set up another jug, and we'll get everything ready for you, and we'll throw another one out. Go ahead and see how fast this other one leaks out, because that was pretty quick actually. Like I said, it's just a chug in both sides of it. I mean, that is pretty much exactly what I expected that broadhead to do. I've seen it do it on animals multiple times now. Put quite a few deer down with them, and they bleed pretty good. They definitely always have a blood trail. So anyways, we'll get onto this other one and do this G5 and see what happens before I get rained on, because, well, it's looking pretty ominous out there. You can hear the thunder. It's rolling in, so we'll try to get this done a little bit quicker here, make this video cut down. Maybe we'll go back inside and do a little bit more talking about it when we're done. Okay, on to the G5 dead meat. We'll go ahead and go see what that one does now. Well, it looks like I shot a little bit right on that one from where I shot the other one. What I'm noticing is not very much leakage. I mean, it didn't quite open all the ways on both the blades on impact. And the backside, I mean, it's spilling out, but real slow. Again, I had both these jugs. As you can see, I'll set this other one up here. Like I said, the lid, same thing. Both of them are just barely screwed on there. Sorry, I don't know if I got that in the video. See, the lids are, both of them are screwed on about the same. Not super impressed with this one so far. I mean, it's leaking out pretty quick, but nothing like with that fixed blade. That fixed blade was just brutal. And honestly, that 1.5 inch cut, yeah, maybe on the exit side. Let's go back around here and see again. I'm thinking, yeah, it got a pretty good cut on that exit side, and I think maybe, you know, with an animal running, taking off, I think that might have done something. But I mean, that thing, you look at that, that's a gaping hole. It's a big difference from that little sharp blade that goes through there. However, I don't know, maybe, I mean, this side here, you can see that one right there is at the fixed blade, and I mean, that's pretty gnarly. There's no doubt that that's absolutely just a worse hole. I mean, it really lays them open good, but we're still going. This is taking some time. I'm a little bit kind of unimpressed, actually, to be really honest with you. I'm kind of shocked at. I thought that was going to do a lot better, those big old giant sharp blades on it like that. And again, that broadhead there, the fixed blade, I shot an animal previously with that, and the blades aren't even as sharp as they normally are. And I mean, it ripped right through there like it was nothing. But this is really taking some time. I mean, we can even get to the point where I can screw it off. Oh, now, oh man, you screw that lid off there. Boy, that sure made a difference. That thing was leaking hard, but that's not going to be a very good control. I think we're pretty good off on trying to figure out where we're at here either way. What I'll do here is just pretty much cut this off. I think it's going to take way too long to spill all that out. However, like I said, with that lid popped off of it, that thing was chugging down pretty good. So maybe, I don't know, we'll see. It has a big cut on the back side of it. I mean, the exit wound on that would have been, it was definitely a hole. It was all of 1.5 inches, if not more, on that other exit side. The entrance side, though, again, like I said, a little displeased that it just didn't do what I thought it was going to do. I really figured those blades were going to open up a little bit more. Now, I did shoot it a little bit to the right. I was just kind of in a rush shooting it, but it was just to get ourselves to a control here. And both those lids are screwed on. Actually, this one's screwed on less than what the original one was. Not too impressed with the jug test, at least. Kind of yeah, I don't know, we'll have to see, play around with it a little bit more and really get an idea. But I do like the way they fly. Very, very accurate. I mean, they are incredibly accurate. They shoot identical to a field tip, and I mean, there's, with a broadhead, a fixed blade, you really have to watch your shots. You have to make a good release. They're forgiving to an extent, but this is a different story. These things are well more than what I would call forgiving. It's just like shooting a broadhead. I mean, a field point, excuse me. That's quite impressive. And actually, man, that cut on the bag here where the exit, and I think is actually a little bit better, but that is one heck of a hole there. I mean, you can see where I've been shooting this block with those other broadheads, and that's quite a bit bigger. So I mean, even the exit side, like I said, on this one, it was every bit of 1.5 inches. I mean, they definitely open up, there's no doubt about that. But boy, when they hit that blocker, and I assume this is more like a skin material, you know, than what the other ones are, but that's one heck of a hole. I mean, you could see the difference in size clearly. And this one right here is where that first one hit. That's the one that I shot. That's the fixed blade, the shuttle T. And I mean, it comes clear out to here, you know, all the ways down to here, and then all the ways back up to here, and that's wide open. So yeah, maybe they do. I don't know. It's hard to say if this jug test might be kind of might not work that well, because, you know, these jugs aren't going to run off afterwards. They're not going to continue to keep that wound opened up, and they're not going to pour blood. I think these dead meats are probably going to do pretty well, and I'm probably going to hunt with them this year. I think I'm just going to try to shoot an animal with them, and we'll see what happens with it, and go from there. I'll pack a couple of these shuttle T's in my quiver just to have them for a backup, for a for sure thing. But we definitely have some more more testing to do. Maybe if I threw a chunk of wet hide or something, just I got some old deer skins that I skinned out and just tanned. Maybe I'll soak a piece of that and stick it over a jug and shoot it through it and see how it opens after it goes through skin. You know, skin's pretty pliable and kind of has that consistency to really want to open the blades. That little extra to try to get them to open up, maybe that'd help. And I don't know, maybe we'll shoot them through something else and just see how tough they really are, because they look pretty darn tough. I mean, they're definitely a blocky head. I don't know how that goes for penetration, but I can tell you right now that thing went every bit as far as that fixed blade did after it went through the jug into that block. So I mean, we'll just play around and do some more testing, and we'll go back inside and talk about it here in a minute. I'm going to get out of here before I get struck by lightning. Okay, we'll come back inside here now out of the thunder and lightning, kind of talk a little bit more about it, and maybe run another spin test here and see what we got, because I do believe this one, I put it back together now, it was wide open. We will open it all up. Zero damage to it, nothing. And when they come back through, they open up, and this is what it looks like. They come back in, they don't lock, they actually are, the blades are able to move forward like that, and they slide right back down into place. Sharpness, razor blade still. I mean, obviously cutting through a piece of plastic and a little bit of foam probably is not going to hurt them, but these are no different than they were when they went in. I mean, they feel like you don't want to touch them. They're going to cut you. Very sharp. This one here, shot through there. I already know the results of this one because I've done it plenty of times here with the way that works. So we'll set them up here. This one spins perfect. After being shot, still the same thing. It has zero wobble to it. It is very clean. But what we're going to see is how clean this one spins after it's been shot. And that'll be the real test. I don't see even so much as a wobble. So that's impressive. However, what we were talking about before out there, and going back into the side where we're talking about cut pattern here now, I am still a little beside myself. I think that the way that these will perform, I think that test probably wasn't the greatest. I think that maybe with the fixed blade, yeah. But obviously the fixed blade is definitely, the shuttle tees for one in general, just they're going to poke a hole. They do great. Never had nothing not just completely leave a gushing trail everywhere they went. And normally, like I said, 50 to 60 yards is about as far as they go with that. They ball up, lay down. Half the time they just flop over and die. Lung shots, they're not friendly to them. I've had deer that just pouring out like a faucet right out of their mouth. I mean, it's just, they're very, very devastating broadhead. Used them for a lot of years. But they're also not quite as forgiving as what these fixed or the mechanical blades are. The fixed blades, you're always going to have a little bit of plane. My tape isn't exactly the same as it is, and my bow's perfectly tuned. We don't even mess around with it. It's pretty impressive on how fast it goes through. Sorry, somebody was trying to call me. All in all, this right here, it has a good look to it. It really does. I think that it's going to perform the way that I want it to. I'm going to try them out. I know a lot of guys have had some great success with them, but I also know a lot of guys that have had phenomenal success with these. These are just a absolute mean machine when it comes to killing things. It's undoubted. I've never lost an animal with them to this day. They're quiet. These, noise-wise, I really don't think that they were that loud. I think that they were actually surprisingly kind of quiet, and I don't know if it's because they got vents or what. And generally, whenever you're shooting a fixed blade, they're a little bit louder in general speaking, because most of the time they have a vent, they'll get a little whistle or a hiss to them. These didn't hiss at all, and these ones here are actually a fixed blade with no venting. So I mean, super durable. I've shot rocks with these, and that's the only time I've ever broke a broadhead, went through an animal and hit a rock on the other side, and actually just broke a blade off. As a matter of fact, I have one of those blades right here, and this is what happens whenever you shoot. As a matter of fact, that's the other one that's shot an animal, And this one went through and it broke. I don't know if you can see that, but let's see here. Try to get out of the video. Well, not really wanting to autofocus very well, but they're high carbon steel blades. They are extremely sharp, and like I said, whenever you put a hole through something with them, they tend to work really well. This is the only one I've ever seen break, and like I said, I hit a rock, shot a deer with it, went through it, and hit a rock on the other side of it, and broke that blade off. The broadhead and the arrow were laying right there, and yeah, so on and so forth with that. Guess kind of we're just gonna have to go out and go shoot a critter this year and see what happens with these mechanicals and see how they perform. I don't think for a second that I'm not going to find the animal. I think they fly phenomenal, and that's kind of one of the things that I'm looking more into right now is just that extra little edge, you know, especially hunting out west here where we're at. You know, a lot of your shots on these mule deer, you know, you get 20 yards, 30 yards from them, and they'll spook out and they run and they'll stop, you know, 30 yards away, 40 yards away. So now you're shooting 60 yards if you want to make that shot, which a lot of the time guys won't do. I shoot extreme long ranges all the time. I'm very, very comfortable at 60 yards. I don't have any issues. My bow is plenty fast enough to do it. And my deer last year, I shot at 61 yards, and then it ran out there and gave me another opportunity. Kind of hunked up a little bit and made another shot on him at 74 yards, and it was just two holes about that far. So, you know, like I said, kind of, and that's with a fixed blade. So, you know, the edge on this one, I don't know how much of what it really is getting me, but when you get pumped up and you get in that moment, a little bit of adrenaline, it kind of takes over on you a little bit. And sometimes you may not make the best shot. Any little extra edge you can get. And again, with these flying as well as they do, I don't really see any reason that it'll be awesome. You know, I think that it'll be a phenomenal broadhead. We'll give it a shot, and we'll come back and we'll test it out whenever we get done here. But I was very impressed with that shuttle T. It's the same thing that they always do. But until the next one, guys, enjoy. Hope this helps some people out on the fixed mechanical thing. Fixed, definitely, they leave a hole, and it's definitely going to be a little bit better, I think, for elk. I will only be using fixed blades. I will not shoot one of these at an elk. It's too much of an if for me. And I never have to make a shot more than 20, 30 yards anyway on an elk. You call them in, they come right in on a string, and yeah, you get a good shot, right? Every one of them? No. But you try to make the best shots that you can with them, and I know the penetration is better on these shuttle tees. I know that they work really well. I've heard a lot of people talking about the iron wills and et cetera, et cetera. I haven't shot the iron wills. Personally, I'd like to try them out. I'd love to give them a shot, but I just don't want to go spend the money on them and then end up not using them. These are performing phenomenal for me. Have for years. Never had an animal die or not die from them, and never had one that I really had to chase down either. So, you know, shot placement definitely plays a part in that. But anyway, again, till the next one, we'll do some more testing with this. Maybe I'll figure something else out, something hard to shoot at, and see how the blades hold up and how the head holds up itself, and we'll go from there. Enjoy. You guys have a good day, and hope everybody shoots straight.